You have been lied to, not by a mechanic or a stranger on the internet, but by the small sticker on your own car door. That number, 32 PSI, has been drilling itself into your head every time you fill up your tires. You pumped faithfully to that number, maybe for years or even your entire driving life. And the whole time, that one wrong number has been costing you hundreds of dollars that never had to leave your wallet. With $500 or more quietly drained from your bank account trip by trip and fill up by fill up. This stops today, because every car has that official-looking yellow and white sticker stuck inside the driver's door frame. Most drivers see it and assume that because engineers put that number there, it must be correct, safe, and smart to trust. But that assumption is wrong. Car manufacturers recommend 32 to 35 PSI because it produces a soft, cushioned ride, the kind that feels remarkably smooth on a test drive. This is the kind of ride that makes people sign purchase agreements on the spot. But 32 PSI is actually the manufacturer's recommended target pressure. It is not the bare minimum safe operating limit, but rather a baseline chosen for everyday driving. The car company picked that number to sell you a comfortable driving experience, rather than to stretch your tire life or protect your fuel budget. Those are two entirely different goals, and they chose their showroom over your savings. When a tire runs underinflated, the sidewalls bulge outward under the heavy weight of the vehicle. Meanwhile, the middle of the tread lifts slightly off the asphalt, forcing the outer edges to take the brunt of the load. And this happens hundreds of times every single mile you drive. When pressure runs too low, the tire bends and deforms on contact with the road as the center section lifts, pushing the full weight of the vehicle onto the outer edges instead. Every rotation grinds those outer edges against the road hard and fast, while the tread in the middle barely scrapes the ground, which means the outside wears out much faster. This uneven pattern can reduce tire life from 60,000 miles down to roughly 20,000 miles. This accelerated wear means replacing tires far more often, and a standard set of 4 tires runs $400 to $600. At the proper pressure, your tires wear evenly and last as long as they were designed to, saving you from purchasing 2 extra sets of tires that are otherwise wasted because a sticker said 32 and nobody questioned it. While tire wear is a major issue, the impact on fuel efficiency is equally convincing. Underinflated tires create high rolling resistance, much like riding a bicycle with flat tires where you must pedal much harder just to move forward. Your engine does the exact same thing by straining against soft, deforming rubber with every single revolution, which burns extra fuel to maintain your speed. The United States Department of Energy has confirmed that underinflated tires reduce fuel economy by up to 6%. If you spend $2,500 on fuel a year, which is typical for most drivers, that is $150 wasted on nothing. This money is not spent on repairs or breakdowns, but simply on air pressure, which is the easiest thing to top up for a couple of dollars at almost any gas station. To make matters worse, your dashboard warning light is designed for safety rather than fuel efficiency, so it will not alert you to this ongoing loss. The tire pressure monitoring indicator, which is the small icon on your instrument panel, only activates when pressure drops roughly 25% below the recommended level. At 32 PSI, that light sits completely dark and silent without giving any alert, communicating that everything is perfectly fine while your tires erode and your fuel costs climb. While this system exists to catch dangerous blowout situations and help reduce emissions, it does not protect your daily budget from minor leaks, and nobody explains this distinction when you drive off the dealer lot. The fix is straightforward, and tire specialists refer to it as finding your ideal pressure, which is a level that keeps your tire flat and even against the road surface without approaching the maximum limit. Finding this target takes less than a minute. If you walk up to any tire on your car right now and look at the sidewall, which is the smooth rubber on the side rather than the tread, you will find the maximum pressure followed by a specific number in the molded lettering. On most modern passenger tires, this figure lands between 44 and 51 PSI, which you can easily photograph with your phone. To determine your ideal range, you can perform a simple calculation from the maximum pressure. If your tire max reads 50 PSI, subtracting 10 to 15% yields a target of roughly 42 to 45 PSI. This is the entire process, requiring no mechanics, no appointments, and no special equipment beyond a $10 digital tire gauge from any auto parts store. If you do not want to calculate, there is an even faster option, where you simply take the number on your door sticker and add 4 to 6 PSI to it. Aiming for 36 to 38 PSI as your starting baseline is a single adjustment that moves your tires into a far more efficient operating range in just 4 minutes with one simple gauge. The actual financial figures make this argument very clear. At 32 PSI, uneven edge wear grinds away at your tires, causing a standard set to survive roughly 20,000 miles. By keeping the pressure slightly higher, the tire presses flat against the road across its full contact patch, allowing that same set of tires to reach 60,000 miles or more. This tripling of your tire lifespan allows you to recover approximately $350 in tire costs alone across 2 replacement cycles. When you combine that with fuel savings, a 5 to 6% fuel economy improvement on a $2,500 annual gas budget returns over $100 every single year that you keep the pressure dialed in correctly. Adding these 2 figures together results in over $500 in combined savings, which is a conservative estimate since drivers with larger trucks, commutes, or higher fuel prices will save even more. Before you grab a pump, there are 3 important rules that you must follow. First, never exceed the maximum pressure molded into your tire sidewall, because overinflated tires lose road grip quickly, handle poorly in wet conditions, and can fail without warning. Your ideal pressure range keeps you well below that ceiling, and crossing it is never worth the risk. Second, always check your pressure when the tires are cold, as driving heats the air inside and artificially raises the reading. If you check after a long trip and add air based on that number, you will overshoot your target. So you should check before your first drive of the day after the car has been parked for at least 3 hours. Third, inspect your tires every few weeks by running your thumb across the tread. If the center wears faster than the edges, your pressure is running slightly too high, whereas if the edges wear first, it is still too low. You can adjust in small increments and check again after a week of normal driving, as your tires give you constant feedback if you pay attention to them. Millions of responsible drivers check their tires every month and fill them to exactly 32 PSI, feeling prepared and diligent, while that number slowly costs them money they will never see again. Car makers did not choose 32 PSI to protect your wallet, but rather to ensure that every test drive felt smooth and every customer left satisfied. The financial consequences of that decision land entirely on you at the tire shops and gas pumps. Your tires were built to perform better than the door sticker suggests, and the maximum pressure is stamped directly into the rubber by the manufacturer. The calculation takes less than a minute on your phone, and the air pump at your local station is often free to use. You simply need to check the sidewall, do the quick calculation, and set the pressure. That extra $500 was always yours, and now you know exactly how to keep it.